Hello. I hope everyone's well. I'm very sorry. It's been quite a while since I read a book, and I just finished a book, Emotional Detox, and talks about anxiety. This book is written by Sherianna, Boyle, and it's very interesting because what it tackles is the most anxiety that people face whenever people go through a lot of emotions. And let's face it, in our day-to-day life, we all go through a lot of emotions. So today I want to talk to you guys about that. So we have to understand whenever it comes to anxiety, there's two forms of anxiety. Of course, there might be other forms, but these are the two forms that's being discussed in the book. The first one, it is actually suppressed anxiety. So the form of suppressed anxiety, let's say right now you want to go hang out with your friends, grab a pizza or have something, but you remind yourself that you have an exam. But because you have an exam, you choose, okay, because I have an exam, so I'm not gonna go. So this form of suppression is like you suppress your emotion of wanting something, and a lot of times it will manifest itself in other ways. For example, you suppress yourself to go to that party, to hang out with your friends, grab a bite of pizza because you have to prepare for your exam. Instead, you might compensate in grabbing some extra snack or indulging in some videos or things like that. And that will really, you will feel it happen. For example, you get into a fight with someone and you repress your emotion. Once you suppress your emotion, what it happens is that you actually lose the confidence to communicate. And you might actually lose so much self-esteem because you don't want the confrontation. And this is a form called suppression anxiety. Another form of anxiety is the repression anxiety, which is a form that can happen whenever something might have caused you to forget, because like that it will heal the pain. It will heal the pain that has happened to you from this trauma. It could be a trauma or it could be a situation or circumstance. So for example, for the book Body Keeps the Score, very often you had cases that people were repressing their emotions so they feel better, but sometimes eventually with therapy they actually to find out different kind of things that was in their past. It's definitely a recommended book to read too. Let's go back to what we were talking about when it comes to forms of anxiety. When it comes to anxiety, we have to understand that this is actually it's a trigger. So we should not be pushing our anxiety away. Instead, we should analyze it with a lot of curiosity and being kind to ourselves. And when we stay curious, it will allow us to unfold and be much more understanding of who we are as people. Now, a lot of time, whenever we have anxiety, there's different kind of ways for you to cope for it. Way for us to cope with anxiety, we could very often please other people so we feel a bit less anxious. Or we could project outward. We project outward so we projected on other people so we feel less anxious. So we projecting the outward emotion. Sometimes we become hypercritical of other people, judgmental, and we make sarcastic remark to feel less anxious. Sometimes we become people that apologize to others all the time, and we become such people pleaser. Or sometimes we become extra needy and we would need people's validation. This is another form of anxiety that you might have. Sometimes people could be jokers. They become jokers so they can lighten up the situation to stop their form of anxiety and larger emotion from other people. So like that, you feel much more guarded from your emotions. Those are different kind of forms when it comes to anxiety. But what you have to really understand is we have to be a bit kinder to ourselves when it comes to different kind of forms of anxiety. First one of the methodology that Sherianna Boyle says is to remove the labeling. So we have to understand we have a very big ego. We have egos, and a lot of times the ego really enjoys negativity, enjoys fears. And if you have put yourself in a label, for example, you say, I am such an anxious person, I am such a fearful person, it puts you in a state that you are very, very much weak and vulnerable. And whenever you are in that state, you do not associate yourself in much more power, and then you're stuck in that labeling. The key is to remove the labeling, and to remove it because you don't want your ego to feed up from your negative energy, because your ego wants to keep you small. So you want to say, okay, I'm very strong, or you want to say, I'm going to detach from the outcome. And when you detach from the outcome, you free yourself out from that level of anxiety, and you will let life unfold as it should, which is a very great way. And I understand letting go is not easy. We very often are very fearful, or we have certain level of anxiety when it comes to the outcome, but to detach and debrief and letting go of the outcome will actually put you in a freedom state. Now, the second way to remove anxiety is very, very powerful. And I personally use it, and I was just like, wow. So the exercise is the following, is allowing these sentences that you're about to say, you say it in the present and in the past tense. Now, these are the sentence. The first sentence is, how do I feel in my body when? Question. Remember to deep breathe and also exhale. What has it been like to be me? How does it feel like to be in my body right now? Being me now makes me feel. Question. And how do I feel in my body now? What it does is that it allows for you to be placed in the past tense. When you're in the past tense, you're reviewing your past. And a lot of time it will bring out a lot of negative emotion. But when you are being brought back to the present tense, you will be able to see, wow, okay, in this moment present, is there a lot of things that's disturbing me right now? Does it bring me a lot of feeling or things like that? And when you could see it from that perspective, you know that everything is okay, because a lot of times it's just you're replaying the past and you're not refocused on the present. So when you focus on the past, you focus on the past negativity. When you focus on the present, you focus on the now and what is surrounding you right now. So I thought that was a very powerful exercise. So whenever you have different form of anxiety, I hope this will be able to help you to soothe your emotions. And I hope to see you soon again. And thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.